We have been focusing on Indian philosophy. Today, our theme would be the six limbs of Vedang. Now, Vedang is a very important concept in Indian philosophy, and these Vedangs could be understood as the six limbs of human being. So, let's have a background information first. The Vedic literature could be well classified under two sections, that is Shruti and Smriti. Smriti, as the name suggests, is related to memory. So, Smriti is what is known as memorized literature. Under the memorized literature, we have supplementary text. This is in the form of Vedangs, Upaveda, and so on. So, that is one of the parts of Vedic literature. The other part of Vedic literature is Shruti. Shruti is what is revealed. Now, under the revealed literature, we have the four Vedas, the Yajurved, Atharvaved, Samved, and Rigved. Rigved is the oldest of these, which is the collection of prayers. Samved talks about the musical chants. Atharvaved focuses on magical forms, and Yajurved focuses on sacrifices. So the four Vedas are part of the Shruti, which is the revealed literature. Vedangs, Upveda are part of Smriti, which is the memorized literature. So today our focus would be on Vedangs. If we focus on Vedangs, we understand that Vedangs have been compared to a human body and the six parts of human body, and what they are synonymous to has been well understood. But before that, within the Vedas, the four Vedas, the Rig Veda, Yajurved, Samved, and Atharvaved, we also have four different parts. So these four parts are present in all of the four Vedas. The first is the Samhita. Samhita is the most essential part of the Vedas, and these include the basic hymns that are there. The next is Brahmanas. These are the proses in the form of commentaries on the Vedas that have been there, and they are usually the prayers or the chants. The next is Aranyak. They have to be read only by the rishis in the forest, and they focus mainly on the mystic meanings. The next is the Samhita text, or what is known as the Upanishad. Now, Upanishad is the philosophical aspect which is being taught by the acharyas to the people. So, those are the four parts which are present in each of the Vedas. Now, moving on to the focus for today, which is the Vedang. As we said, six Vedangs that are there. To know this into more detail, we have covered that separately in our online section. But coming on here, as we said, Vedang, so it's Ved plus Ang. That means they are the part of Vedas, or the limbs of Vedas, we could say. So six limbs, as we said. The first is the legs, which is known as Chandas. The idea is meter. We would come on to each of these one by one. The next is hand. Hand is known as sculp, and with the hands we do rituals. So that's one way of remembering it. The next is face or mouth. Through the mouth we speak the Vyakaran, that is grammar. Through the nose we have the phonetics, the sounds that are created, and this is what is Shiksha. The eyes are the Jyoti, and through which we see the celestial astronomy. Then the next is ears, which is Nirukt, which focuses on etymology, that is the origin of the words. How did the words originate? And therefore, these are the six parts of the Vedans. Now, as we said, these are the Vedans. We talked about Smriti, which is the memorized literature with two forms, Vedans and Upavedas. Vedans we have focused on. What are Upavedas? So Upavedas are Vedas in the form of, let's say, Gandharva Ved, which talks about music. Shilpa Ved, which talks about art. We have Ayurved, which talks about medicine and treatment. Dhanurved, which talks about archery. Then we have the various Veds which focuses on, let's say, the wars, which basically deals with archery, the Dhanurved, the skills being taught under Dhanurved, and so on and so forth. So those are all called as Upavedas. So focusing back on the Vedang, each of these have been recorded under the Mundaka Upanishad, and we would be focusing on these one by one. Shiksha, as we said, is through the nose. It is phonetics. Now, if we say phonetics, it talks about sound, pronunciations that are there, the utterances of each of the syllabi that is there. So, it could be Akshar Shuddhi, that means the syllable, how pure it is. The next is Swar Shuddhi. So, Swar talks about the tone, the pitch that is there. The Matra Shuddhi, that means how much duration is there. So, it focuses on the purity of the duration. Then we have the Santan, which is the continuity, and the Samam, which is the evenness, how even the sounds are. So in Sanskrit, we have 51 letters that are taken into account, and these 51 letters are known as Matruk, Matruka, Matru. So that basically talks about the 51 images, the 51 letters and their images, and each one represents what is being explained. So Panini, the grammar, he was a grammarist, and his grammar basically talked about the Paniniya Shiksha, and this Paniniya Shiksha focused on how the Vedas should be actually chanted, and that was the basic of Shiksha, which is through the nose and talks about phonetics, pronunciation and sound. The next is very, very interesting. Vyakaran. So Ashtadhyay by Panini has been written under 8 sutra, and the Sikh Panini has witnessed the dance of Lord Shiva, or what we call as Nataraj, and the most interesting story about it is when Shiva started dancing with his Jamaru, 14 different sounds were produced, and these 14 different sounds led to what was known as the Vyakaran Sutra or the Maheshwarai Sutra. Now this Vyakaran Sutra or the Maheshwarai Sutra later became the grammar. And this was the concept of Vyakaran, which was attained through mouth, and later on, we have the Sikh Patanjali, the Sikh Varurishi, who were part of the knowledge that was impounded through the Vyakaran. The next is Nirukta. Now, Nirukta basically focuses on the basic idea where we are talking about the information through our ears, and that is etymology, which focuses on the origin of word. So, the Vedic dictionary or the Kosh is what is known as Nirukt. Now, under Nirukt, we have one of the most popular dictionaries, which is known as Amar Kosh. Besides the Amar Kosh, we also talk about the root of each word. Now, root is what is known as dhatu, the elemental form. So, even in chemistry, we have the dhatu, the elements, and then we have the compounds. So, that dhatu is the root. So, we have the root form as the dhatu under the nirukt, and all the words that originate in Sanskrit have the dhatu or the roots that are there. So, that is again one of the most important concepts of Nirukt. And finally, the dictionary that was part of the Nirukt has been known as the Nigandhu. So, Nigandhu is the dictionary that has been there. The next is Jyotish. Now, Jyotish is through the eyes we are able to see the celestial world. So, the astrology, astronomy and all the sciences that run across the graha, the nakshatra, the tithis have been part of the Jyotish Shastra. So, three important segments under the Jyotish Shastra, the Jyotish under Vedang includes the Siddhanta Skandam that focuses on trigonometry, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, the mathematical aspects, the Hora Sankhadam, which talks about the movement of planets and how these movements of planet affect the common people. So the Graha, the Nakshatra. The next is Samhita Sankhadam. The Samhita Sankhadam focuses on the designing of the houses, the building of the structures, the underground water levels, good and bad, the virtues or omens that could be there. So that is what is part of the Jyotish. Now, some of the scholars working on that obviously were Varahamihir, Aryabhat as some of the well-known scholars who focused on the astronomical principles. The next that we talk about is Kalp. So, Kalp is through the hand we do certain rituals. Now, doing rituals we have scholars like Bodhayan, scholars like Apta Sambhan who were part of the developments of the Kalpa Vedang, and there are two important categorization, the Sotra Sutra and the Graha Sutra. Graha Sutra is basically the basic rituals that are the household rituals that are performed, and anything that has to be performed, any ritual that has to be performed has certain criteria. What are those? Firstly, how the ritual should be done? Definitely. What are the functions that the brahmacharis must follow, the sannyasis must follow, and the grihasth ashram should follow? What are the rituals that deal with the chanting of mantra, the Ved, and the materials related to it? How many priests should be invited for any ritual? What should be the vessel? What shape the vessel should be? And how it should be used has been very important under the Kalp. And the last one is the Chandhas. Now, Chandhas is the meter, the length. So, whenever we talk about Vedas, there is length of the statements, we could say the syllables that are given. So, if it is just 8 syllable, we say it is Anushtup. If it is 9, it is Brihati. If it is 10, it is Panakti. 11 is Trishuptap. If there are 4 pad of 7 syllable, that makes it 28 syllables, we called it Ushnik. And similarly, if there is 26, even up to 26 syllable to a pad. So, any meter which is beyond the 26 syllable to a pad is known as Dandakam. So, those are the names that have been given to the various phrases that have been quoted under the various Vedas. And since Gayatri Mantra is one of the pads that have 8 syllable each, in all there are 24. So, 3 verses, so 3 lines, so 8 into 3, 24 syllables in all, and it is also known as the Nirukta Gayatri Chandhas. So Chandhas basically is the meter, it is the length that is being measured for the Vedic poetries that are there. So those are the 6 limbs of the the Vedants that are there, equivalent to, I repeat, the Shiksha, which is nose, the Kalp, which is the hand, which focuses on rituals, eye, which is Jyotish, ear, which is Nirukta, face or mouth, which is the Vyakaran, and finally the legs, which is the Chandhas. So that was about the Vedang, a very important supplementary material under the Smriti or the memorized literature of the Vedic literature. We would be covering many more interesting topics in Indian Vedic literature in the upcoming lectures, and more detailed lecture on this is available in our online course. Have a wonderful day ahead.